All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to season 2 of the Anything and Everything podcast. Today, to kick off our first episode of season 2, we have the amazing, talented, gifted Mr. Possum Stock himself, Cody Parson. Take it away, man.
Just rest your eyes, pup. You keep waiting up on me. I told your mama we'll be home soon. Lay your head down, get some sleep, and don't you worry what I'm doing, where I go or who I'm with. A little boy's job's to be happy, not to be drugged through this shit. She sang Cody. She sang Cody. She sang Cody. She sang Cody. Well, all this bustle and this running, that's why I left you with Grandma. I spent all my time paying for the pain that I done wrong. And your hate, and all your hatred, all that blood is on my hands. Well, I hold my son to pray that, well, someday you'll understand. She sang Cody. She sang Cody. She sang Cody. She sang Cody. Caused and the things that I have missed. Well, I'm begging of you, God, 'cause he's all that I've done right. So don't take me from this world before his name goes up in lights. And I sing Cody. I sang Cody. I sang Cody. She sang Cody. I watched her go. I watched her go. I watched her go. I watched her go.
All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Anything and Everything podcast, man. And if you didn't know, this is our first episode of season 2 of the podcast, man, for June and I.
Season 2.
Yeah, season 2, baby.
Dude,
and
we
we're
did
back.
19 episodes.
I think it was 19, yeah?
That's shit. Wild.
I know, right? Just knocking them out here, there, and everywhere.
You guys started knocking them out too.
It's crazy, man. A lot of work and dedication. But if you're wondering who this lovely gentleman to my immediate right is,
Big
right here, this is the one and only, amazingly talented, one of the best hosts I've ever witnessed, guitar playing, long hair wearing,
Hey.
punk rock singing, acoustic guitar playing,
Yay!
guitarist, good friend, man,
Good
amazing
friend.
human being, Mr. Cody Parson, man. Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me on and letting me start season 2.
Season
Yeah,
2.
most definitely. We have to start it off right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta do it right.
And if you don't have Cody, you're not doing it right.
Not doing it right. What you got to say?
What you got to say?
He's in the building.
Building.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to come on here with you guys. I know you've been doing this and knocking it out and bringing lots of people on and talking about lots of good stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we could find the feng shui to make it happen.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it works out. The furniture is in the right place. There's a mirror right here. Energy reflecting back the right way. So, so it is,
That's how
man.
it is in the parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So how's things down here or up here?
Yeah.
Rather. How
Yeah.
are things up here in Clarksville?
Yeah. I mean, I know you're kind of new here, and
Yeah.
you've tried Black Horse yet? You know, it's kind of like one other thing here. It's actually been productive, you know, the last year and then this year we're starting off really busy.
Yeah,
You know,
super busy.
lots of big, like, great
Cool
things.
things happening.
Yeah,
Yeah, great
Now
things
that-
is ahead of all of us.
Yeah,
that's
now
for
that
sure.
Jay can walk again, we can start
Yeah.
doing stuff.
Yeah, I told him
Not
like,
so bedridden.
yeah,
Not so bedridden anymore.
yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, it's been great. You know, lots of. It's definitely different without you here. I tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really different.
Hopefully in good ways.
Yeah, in
Hopefully
it.
Things
No,
are growing
yeah,
in different directions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy for you, really. Like, you know, we always talk about the moves, you know.
Yeah, making
We have
moves.
them moments together where we just like sit down and talk about live or phone calls and all that good stuff. But you know, permanent thing in life has changed, so it's a good thing.
Because like not everybody is brave enough or willing to make the step. Like people could talk all day though.
Right.
People could talk all day about taking that step and
Well, I think that was a big part of it too. I had been talking for like a long time,
Yeah,
and I had been like, when COVID kind of kicked off, I had decided to stay in town more, and I was before then. I left Wicked Good in like 2018, and I was already like, all right, I gotta get the hell out of town. I gotta get the hell out of here. I know I gotta leave. Then
Yeah.
COVID happened, and everything shut down, and then my grandma got sick. So
Damn.
I up until she passed away a couple weeks ago, I had really focused. That's a big part of me staying home the last few years was doing that. And then last summer, the right opportunity came up to where I could make the jump and go work. So really the right thing just fell in my lap. And it was one of those chances where you can take the chance on it now or you can, put it off and make excuses. And I had gotten to the point in my life and had enough things happen in the past year that I was like, well, let's pull the trigger and make some fun changes and see how the
man.
story unfolds. So
yeah,
makes for good writing.
I'm grateful to be in a lot of the positions I'm in. I have a very good job down in Nashville. I work, for the merch warehouse for lots and lots of our favorite artists. So I get to see lots of cool things before other people do. So I'm grateful for the way that things have shaken out, man. And it's cool because I think in a lot of ways with me leaving, I think inevitably more things started happening at home when certain things move. When puzzle pieces move around in certain places, things happen in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes change is kind of what everybody needs.
Yeah, man. Sometimes we block our own growth, but as soon as we take that first
That's it.
step, the floodgates open up, and then it's like, wow, this everything that's been waiting for me. on the
Yeah,
other
you
side.
nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah,
dude. You nailed
this is
it.
everything that's been waiting for me.
As soon as I really made the move last summer, I found the new drummer and kind of my whole new lineup for THC kind of took form, and I've been hammering it out and taking names for the last few months on it. So
that's pretty
That's
cool,
good.
man.
I'm excited to be where I'm at in it. I got a good lineup of guys, and now it's just a matter of pushing rock and roll and playing out all the time. So
Yeah, yeah.
I think one of your videos, the salad video, we did a review for it on here a while ago. But if nobody knew, it was June that shot it.
Yeah,
and
June was the guy.
he was
that
the guy
made
in the
that one.
trunk with the.
Yeah.
Dude, I played that on the film festival, Clarksville Film Festival.
Yeah.
Like a little event for us here, local filmmaker. Because they have like a music video category now. So
Yeah.
for all you guys that are like creatives, the next film festival, they're going to have a music video category.
That's great.
And then there's going to be, like a prize for that and all that good stuff. I don't know what it is,
Kill it.
but I mean, what I'm saying? It's just a challenge for you guys to do some because like, again, I enjoy when other like similar-minded people create and I see it and I watch it and
That's how good communities developed.
yeah.
People see things happen and a lot of people want to become involved and play their parts in things, and
Yeah.
they see something start to form and take shape, and something like a film festival or something that incentivizes your community to kind of work towards something, and work with a goal in mind is kind of invaluable for a community. It's what separates smaller towns from like bigger cities a lot of times.
Yeah.
The culture, baby, is for the culture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
it did
got you.
actually, like, a lot of people like had a positive response to that music video. I was like, that's Cody's idea, man.
It had the right amount of comedy too, man. It was
Oh,
good.
yeah, that was good.
I watched it
Fun.
like 4 times.
There's a lot of times with it where, like, honestly, and I worry about, because like most of my music's not really comedic. It's more like it's fun sometimes. Like, that's why that song kind of worked for it. But take what I played today, like something like Coyote. It's like a much different kind of tone of a song. And I had discussed that with June when we were talking about doing the video. I was like, I don't want to be too funny. There's a right amount of, but I thought back to it, and I think back to sometimes like the Foo Fighters have very good like artistic deep videos, and other times they have like Learn to Fly, where like like Dave's dressed up as like a schoolgirl and stuff. So
crazy.
sometimes it's fun to kind of like cut up and have a good time with
you
it.
gotta have fun.
And having Spencer's goofy ass like in with the nacho
The mask,
the
yeah,
mask.
that
That was hilarious, bro.
It's ridiculous. That was on him too. That was his idea. He's like, I'm gonna be your rival, but I'm gonna wear the mask.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
funny as hell.
okay. Makes sense.
that open opportunity too, because we met JD Isaiah because of that music video,
Yeah.
and we had
For the
him in this
car.
podcast. Cool dude,
JD,
man.
Some of his
Yeah.
barbecue
dude.
sauce just came in the mail for me yesterday too.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
I've been
Phil's the
busting it
man.
down
He
here.
Oh, you
rules.
ordered some?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Killer
gonna order
Rich.
my
Yeah,
jalapeno.
it's really good.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pop some pills because
But-
I realized like the spice is not good for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man.
Gotta get my
But
heart
hey,
burned
man,
pills.
fun fact also, the reason why me and June like came together and started collabing and doing stuff a couple years ago, it was him who introduced me. So I never got the chance to thank you, man. Thank you very much for introducing me to him.
It's just all about connecting dots,
It's
baby.
wild, man. He came up to me. I came out to the open mic. It was dark as shit, too. I think it was like October or something like that. He came up to me. Have you met June? I was like, who? He's like,
Such a Cody way to talk
Yeah.
to people.
Come here. Dude,
Come
that's so many people have that story with me. They'll be like, you introduced me to this person, and I'm like, how? I probably was just like, hey, you two need to talk. All right,
yeah,
bye.
I still go back and watch that episode every now and again. I still
Goofy.
do.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good
It's
stuff.
good. That was like
first
a-
time being a part of a podcast.
Yeah, that's my time in film school, and I'm trying to be like ahead of my peers and start flying, flapping my
Killing
wings
it.
and all that good stuff. But yeah, it was fun, man. It was really fun and really set the tone for me when it comes to like, pushing it to, because it is a hard thing to do. Podcasts, especially like you have no idea what's going on, because especially like if you're just doing it with like really small crew. If you're not doing it the right way,
Like
you're
you
just
two.
gonna get burned out
Yeah.
right away. Like, because the production and the lighting and all that good stuff. Where I kind of like made me brainstorm a lot more and kind of like, how can I do this in an efficient way?
Yeah.
Where I don't get burned out, but also I'll be able to get lots
Get it
of
done.
people.
Yeah.
And this is where it happens. Like the anything and everything, stars aligned, and I know
Building
I
up
can do this.
towards
Yeah,
things,
yeah. I can do the episode without like us stressing really, because that was my first challenge of that podcast.
Right, you started getting things together. That was like
Yeah.
you kind of overseeing production and like
Yeah.
spearheading things.
Yeah, but you're just a natural host. That's why like I'm
Yeah,
asking you
man.
right now, like how does it feel like to be in in the spotlight
Being on the
right
hot
now?
seat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoy it. I like I find it interesting when people kind of deep dive, because there's certain vulnerabilities that they'll showcase in a position like this, whereas they're behind like a live microphone or with a guitar or whatever the other things they are. Some musicians and some artists are not good at talking, and they come out and they'll be like, this isn't my strong suit. I can make art all day. I can do performance art. I can do this or that. But
Set this cable.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Because it'll pop out the ear.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Just like mine are. Got you.
Yeah, but you're definitely one of the when you perform live, you talk to your audience. You know what I'm saying?
You do.
Like
I try to.
Interactive.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's I believe. Honestly, I think I'm only apt and as adept at anything on a stage and as natural and as comfortable as I am with it and in front of people and public speaking, and to the degree I am, because of honestly, and I'll attribute it to you guys, as like to theater. I was a drama kid. I was a theater kid from the time I was in like the 6th grade till the time I graduated high school. I I was a theater kid, so
You always lived out here?
expression and stage. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was born and raised here. My dad's family's military, but my mom's family's from here.
Okay.
And I was born across the river and went to Montgomery Central High School. Same place that Lucian went to. Lucian's only a year older than me. We're both from across the river. We're both, our families have known each other for 50 years.
And
So.
shout out
Shouts
to
out to
Lucian.
Lucian,
Yeah,
man.
he was here, and I would definitely like. And this is what I love about this show. I mean, I've known you for years now. You know what I'm
It's been a
saying?
few years.
But it
definitely.
makes us connect to the people that I look up to when they perform. You know, because I love our local musicians, man. I really do.
We
And
have
I
a bunch of really good ones.
really wish them well, and I really want them to be successful. And hopefully, this gives them a little bit of like boost, you know, like morale
boost your
boost or
confidence.
something, to really go at it. Because like when my fiance and I talk, and then we listen to y'all's music, and I'm like, man, why can't they be like on the bigger stage? That doesn't make any sense to me, you know. But
All about the hustle, baby.
Yeah.
We're all shooting for it. We're all aiming for it.
Yeah,
Everyone's
but-
putting in their work for it.
But it definitely like made me thankful about this podcast, because I met people that are creatives and really want to you know push out there and
Yeah,
be
sometimes
successful.
nobody really knows where to start,
Yeah.
you know? So we're glad to be able to have a platform. I mean, maybe it won't reach a lot of people, but it does. The word gets around pretty quick.
Always.
You know?
And all
Yeah.
it takes is one, especially in today's day and age, all it takes is the smallest, minute, wild thing to pop off in the right way, and before you know it, somebody has 10 million views on something they never thought
Yeah.
they would.
I know, right?
It's wild sometimes from an artistic perspective when you see people that have like poured their entire lives into creatives that have poured their entire lives into it, and like now we're in an era of a numbers game, like really hard. And even as content creators, like we're not in a quality era anymore. We're in a quantity era,
yeah.
and it's like it's a different
Lottery.
Yeah, it's you hit it. That's a hell of a way to put it, June. That's the best way to put it. Everything is at this point, and you can never win the lottery if you don't play.
That's why I
So-
keep like really. That's my mindset right now.
Gotta play.
And to the like people that I believe in, like man, you just gotta keep doing
Yeah,
it.
you can't stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, like it
I probably
requires a
should
lot
have
of.
played that
yeah.
today. I have a song called "Don't Stop" that's
Yeah.
like about all of this. Yeah,
Hey, man,
it's
you
our
always come
it's our
back.
goofy country song.
Always come back if you want to.
Yeah, come back or we can record after.
They it's one
Definitely.
of those ones that when Julian joined, like he was just like, no, I want to play this song. So we still play it. all the
Always
time.
triggers me to hear that name.
So how was it moving to Nashville? Like I know you're not new to Nashville because like you get
I've been
shows
around,
there.
yeah, I've been
You know,
around
like
forever.
you're pretty much like you knew people there. You perform in Nashville. So, but how is it actually living there now? Is it the same thing
it's
as you like
10
touring?
times worse traffic.
Yeah.
Traffic is like, I know it's like a cliche, funny thing for people to say, but I live 3 miles away from where I work, and it takes me 45 minutes to an hour to get home
Jeez.
sometimes.
Walk.
And I mean 3 miles.
Can the
yeah,
people
like,
drive though?
Like, depends on where you are in town and what time it is. Like, it's as bad as it sounds. Like, I live by Grassmere, so I live right by the zoo, and I'm right over by Plaza Mariachi. So in like this section of town where I'm at, there's incredibly high traffic volume all the time. Like, and especially I live literally right off the Harding Place, like Nolensville Pike 4-way. And that is that 4-way is one of the most congested, jacked 4-ways in Nashville, and it
Airport is right around the
basically you go through off Antioch, hit through Donaldson in the same way. It's honestly from like 3 to 7, it kind of sucks. It's just that's the long and short. But at the other side of it, like in this town in Clarksville all the time, it was easy to kind of create a culture here and have a lot going on because like. There's not a lot going on oftentimes, especially if you're somebody that's pushing like counterculture or, you know, events that are off the cuff, or that's why I was so able for so many years in this town to make things happen the way I did, because there wasn't tons and tons and tons of different groups. Like it's still because, and I think the natural order of the way people are, like a lot of people in this town are for the military or college. And the other side of people, because of the price and like our location, you have a lot of families and stuff moving here. So the other side, young creatives, you know, 20 somethings up in the early 30 somethings, like people that are non-focused on families, that are more focused on career, or they're not normally going to gravitate to a town like this.
No.
And I think that's why our community grew and became so special as it was in Clarksville, like for as long as it was, like dating all the way back to the early inception of like MySpace. and the counterculture that boomed up 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, because before those days, young people that wanted to go see live music, you know, you would have had to go to maybe a church or something like that, because all the places that hosted live music locally were all 21 plus. And that creates an entire like different essence of, that's where DIY comes from. That's where all that come into fruition. And I think that is like, people yearning and really wanting something is the reason why it sparked up and like popped off here the way it did. Because if you gave the people the option for something going on, like, people will come. We've seen it time and time again.
Like Tour de Ville.
Like Tour de Ville.
Possum stuff.
Exactly. Like, if you, it's very Field of Dreams-esque. It's very Kevin Costner joke. If you do it, they will come.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, not everybody wants to drive to Nashville to see stuff happen.
Yeah.
But the other side of moving down there is, like, as you would expect, the artistic community, it's hard to be, like, in this town for a long time, people just referred to me as the guy. I was, like, the guy of this town for a long time.
Yeah.
Still I try not to be now, but that's going to be you soon.
No.
We're moving on to you.
You said something like you.
That's going to be you soon. That's going to be
no.
you soon.
No.
But,
like, I see you're stressed. I
in
can't.
a city like Nashville, and I've made a kind of a joke about it. There's so much going on all the time and so many circles. There isn't the same kind of sense of community that we have back home here.
Yeah.
So that's a huge part of it that I miss. But I have noticed that what I'm trying to cultivate is there isn't a lot of people that are at a lot of these different events. Like, as I mentioned, there's a lot of little different circles and scenes, but when you're kind of a part of something, you're in a part of that. I've spent the last couple months really trying to push the envelope of that city. For instance, my roommate is incredibly active in the EDM community. And after going to both EDCs last year and getting my rave on like a mofo, like I get down and have a good time.
Yeah.
I will get down with disco lines with the best of them.
Yeah.
Come on, John Summit, let's run it. But falling into that, you don't see a lot of people, and I can attest to this, there's not a lot of people that I see at like the diehard rock and roll scene shows in Nashville that I turn around and see them at the EDM shows. As a matter of fact, like, and then I'll turn around another night and I'll have tickets to Marathon Music Works to go see Whitechapel with my brother. So I'm seeing like extreme metal, and I got told like at that show, like the only other people you see really socially that do that, that are at all these different shows, are people that work production. You might have a guy that's like, well, I'm running an LED wall at the metal show, the EDM show tomorrow night, and the rock show Sunday. So there's a lot of conglomerates like that, and the community aspect is more of a professionalism, where it's not so much like the art community, because all the art communities are so split. And Nashville, just like any other like big trendy city, is kind of a place where a lot of people like to smell their own farts. So like the artistic side, sometimes everybody, but I really thrive and have found a lot of like fulfillment, and I found a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? It seems homey. I've found the community aspect more in the fact that I'm running into, there's a guy I've bartended with for years. There's a dude that used to run sound at this. There's a guy that was doing shows with me at a house show 7 years ago. So that community aspect is still around, because like for New Year's, I went to a Cool Kids, like East Nashville, party kind of deal. And it was like, when I got there was like a jungle gym and tree houses and all kinds of shit. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is fire. And I was like, where's the DIY side? I get there and I'm in a packed house. We're on our way there, and I get told, like, it's like the Cool Kids, like East Side kind of thing. These bands are going to be here. And I get there, and I'm like, because I don't care about how cool anybody is in that town. That's my favorite thing about Nashville. It's like, I hope I meet somebody famous so I can laugh about it, because I'm going to like mess with them and be like, what up, bro? I just try to mess with people. But I go to this party, I get up in the thick of it, and it's like, this is the Cool Kids. I'm like, okay, we walk in the house. Each room is like a different art installation and all these. I wind up seeing 20 people I know. Like every room, because the joke is, as any social circle is, these are the cool kids now. They were the nerdy kids that were hanging out outside of the house show 10 years ago that I was playing. Like,
everybody's sophisticated.
The tables turn. Like, everybody here's too freaking cool. So that kind of stuff I kind of laugh about. But I love the professional side, where I'll walk in and I see somebody like my girl Kelly that's like, like an LED, shut my boy, I'm like my girl, my homies. So there's both sides of it.
Well, that's a good thing too, that, because you're such like, you have your imprints like in this town, and the people that move there, give you a little bit of like booze and kind of like not a loner thing, like starting
feel like you
over
have
again.
to start over by
Right.
That
yourself.
because that's going
Right.
to be really challenging for like someone that has never been to Nashville but
That's
wanting
not
to
from
move
anywhere
there.
here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've met so many transplants. That's been the one thing living down there. I've met tons of people, and I've been in long enough, and even being up here for as long as I was, like, and dealing with as many regional music, we book bands from down there constantly up here. And we always have, because it's right next door. But I noticed, like, really quickly, in a lot of circles, you walk in and there's unknowns. And I've been around so long now. I've been playing shows, like DIY shows, like 2009. So 15 years, 16 years. Inevitably, there's always people you're going to run into. So it's just like, that's been really good, because I can go into a room and I know half of everybody already.
Yeah, so
and it's like people aren't strangers, you know? So that's been putting in years up here, honestly, putting in years with Possum Stock and Torteville and everything else. And, there's bands that are still around that are doing really cool things now that I was, there was playing a basement a couple years ago. Yeah. Fulton Lee's playing.
He's playing in Nashville this Sunday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's playing like
Bro,
a soul. He played our house show back in like 2019.
Bro, he's dope, man.
Yeah, dude. He played the basement back in the Matchbox days. And like
I
almost
almost bought 2
COVID.
tickets last night, but I couldn't find my wallet.
Well, we see stuff like that a lot now. And over the years, like, if you spend a lot of time and you're really in, like I have been for like years and years and years, that's just what winds up happening. Yeah. Some people start to get somewhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And inevitably, Nashville's just like a much better conduit for me to find opportunity in the business than here is. Yeah. And that's kind of the joke that it came for years, Jay. It was like everybody that I did start seeing pretty regularly the last couple of months were like, you finally got here. Yeah. You finally made it.
I got
I'm
you.
Like, yeah.
Because when I used to start playing around here a lot, or in Nashville sometimes, some people that are not from here and see what I do, we're like, hey, this is a 10-year town, so you can't expect to, man. And these are people like I invite into my place and try to work along with us. And you're not gonna make it out of here. This is gonna be a 10-year town. You're gonna find yourself being just like all these other artists playing at all the bars downtown on Broadway and stuff like that. What makes you say that? Like, why would you? You know what I mean?
It's a thing too. Like I've heard that niche, that phrase, a 10-year town. You hear it a lot with like songwriters. That's a thing. Like and with bands, like some people are like, bro, get ready for the real long ride. Get ready for 15 years before you ever get even like good shows. And I see it now. Like sometimes I see that, but then another time I'll turn around and it's like, this band's formed in 2016, and it's like they're playing the main stage here, and I was like, dude, no two stories from anybody are the same. Nobody's journeys are the same.
Yeah, man.
So now you're separating yourself with Clarksville music scene. What did you learn about the scene, and also what do you kind of like wish that you didn't do, or you did pretty much like did differently, or wish you could have done more? Because I know this place is near and dear to you. It's like
it means a whole lot to me.
Yeah.
But obviously I left because I felt like it was time to. And it had been I'll be like really transparent about it. A few years ago, this was shortly because we had COVID in 20, and then we had I remember the very first show we had back was in May 2021. It was the very first local show I seen anybody promote, anybody push. Like it was like that was the first thing back, and it was a house show that Raceland did at Nooch's house.
Is that the back door?
And, no. This is Ashley Granucci. She lives over there off of Dunbar Cave and stuff over there off Wilma. No, she had like a little like get together in her backyard. There was like 3 or 4 bands. It wasn't a lot, but it was the first real show back. And I remember sitting at that show, and like I remember Ray came and he like messaged me about it. And he was putting it together and yada yada. And I was like, dude, hell yeah, tight, cool, awesome. I had my new band. I had THC at that point. I hadn't premiered him yet. And I was like, well, I'm going to hold off. I'm not trying to play it because we were going to do Torteville. And I was like, well, I'll wait off and I'll premiere, my new act at Torteville, and we'll do that. But I noticed at that point when Ray kind of stepped up and he was like, well, I want to start doing shows. I was like, all right, we got somebody else that like really cares about like trying to bring stuff together. So I said that was it. And I was like, as long as somebody else is kind of stepping up, that would be a big factor in whether or not I stepped away. because I was like, if somebody else has any kind of inkling to really care and care in the right way, that's not in a look at me all the time, actually give a shit about everybody, you know, kind of way. But the straw that broke the camel's back was when we had an entire new generation of musicians, like younger musicians and stuff, start coming in. And I won't say any like particular names, but we had a young band that was awesome, and I was really about them and super about them, and like I give him every good slot I could give them. I give him a prime slot on Tour de Ville. I gave him a prime slot on Possum Stock. I give them as much as I could give them, and it still just like really resonated with me that like the scene and the community itself just did not matter at all to them. Like in any kind of capacity. They had no empathy towards it. They didn't care at all about like any of it. It just didn't matter. And like, I noticed it was really hard because the year that they kind of started doing stuff, it was the first time since I had really started throwing shows and bringing in new kids. Like every few years we had some younger kids starting bands. And all the way back to when it was like the dudes, Josh Lanham, my old drummer, Josh Lanham, I remember when Josh Lanham started in the scene back in like 2018, and I was working at Wicked. It was like, you know, forever ago. But we had kids come in every few years. There's a new, you know, young high school band coming in. And the one thing that every few years as I was growing through, those kids would see the scene, they would see the parties, they would see like the camaraderie and the community aspect, and they would want to be involved.
Yeah.
They would start, the next thing I know, I'd see like the Fane brothers, the twins at like shows. And I'm like, you guys are playing with Brandon and Ryan now in the Rumps. Like, it's a whole thing. Everybody's growing. People are growing into their roles. People are growing into their parts. The system keeps resetting itself. The scene grows, and that's how it oftentimes goes. People get older, they have kids, they move away, they stop playing music, and then the new next generation, just like Matt Watkins' daughter, Maggie is, like, playing music now. Yeah. And, like, I remember Maggie being 3 years old. Like, I remember that, you know, and she's watching us then. So it's all a cycle. But when I seen this new kind of the face of the new generation of our scene kind of come in, and luckily they weren't the only ones. Like, we had 3 or 4 different young bands at a time. But one of these bands just like didn't care. It didn't care like a lot at all. And like they played shows and they would play the show, and when they got done with their set, they would all leave.
Wow.
Like, and they would play stuff like Tour de Ville and like drop off. Yeah. And like play Possum Stock. Play their set and all leave immediately right after. And I was just kind of like, wow, what is this? What is going on? Yeah. And I kind of, you know, I started thinking about it, and I was like, man, I'm going to say something. I have to say something, because I'm the dude that tries to teach you not to do this. Like, I'm the dude that tries to instill some kind of form of etiquette into your head. And I really realized that like the only thing I was coming off like to a lot of them was like the old man. That was like, get off my lawn. You know? And that, when I really first felt that way here in the scene, in our local scene, I took a step back and like, so fact of the matter is, pause for a second. If you're the person that's doing things, somebody's always going to have something to say, like no matter what, in any circumstance. Like that's a fact. That's a fact. That's just the way things work. But when I seen that, like, we weren't, I don't know, the scene started to disintegrate because the new generation of kids that I would normally have coming in and trying to support, and I know it happened with some of them because literally one of them grew to be in my band. Mike's in my band, and Mike I started messing with Mike when Mike was like 17. Yeah, I remember. You know, Anna Marion was killing it. Yeah. I joked all the time. I was like, this is the new generation of long-haired kids. Like, you know, just like me and Ian, we were all like, this is the new long-haired kids band. Let's go. And they played rock songs. Let's run it.
That's a good band name.
Yeah, the long-haired kids. But like I said, I knew it. I hit in the right way because the same year that some of these new young bands, you know, were coming up and not caring, Mike's parents like came to Possum Stock and was like, you don't understand what you're doing. Like, doing this kind of thing means to all these boys. Yeah. And that's when I was like, you know what? Like, it may not mean something to all the kids all the time, but it is going to mean something to kids that were like me. Yeah. You know. Gotcha. But that really kind of sown the seeds in my head. And to be real with you guys, like, as we tried to grow Possum the last couple of years, we got a way better venue the last 2 years. We have like electricity, we have bathrooms, we're on the river, we have all this stuff that's amazing.
Stages. That's my first one.
Exactly. And it's like stuff just keeps building.
It's really nice,
It's getting, and well, the fact of the matter is, like, I can't grow I had reached a point with everything locally where I was like plateauing on everything.
I got you.
When I noticed for like a 2 or 3 year span that nothing was like growing,
Going past.
and sometimes things were shrinking, I was losing people. I was like, all right, maybe it's my time to be here, and my era of doing this and being this guy is over. Because now somebody else can come in, somebody new, whether it be, you know, one of you guys or like Cody Hiegler or whoever it winds up being, somebody can step up and bring about like new ideas and new. Everybody's going to get tired of get off my lawn guy. And I just became the get off my lawn guy.
And it's a bigger like responsibility, because to be like you, or to kind of like on the same level with the care that you have for the scene, requires a lot of hard work. It's just the pre-production, like all the planning, all the personal times that are not paid for you. You know what I'm saying? The sacrifice, pretty much.
Promotion and being
it's
the
not.
promoter.
It's not just for everyone. Like I'm just thinking, because I care. Like I care, and I do as much as I can. Like
right.
You know,
Well, that's proof in the pudding right here. Doing things like this is proving, you know, for the community and caring. And it's a thing where, you know, James is really incredible about it. He's another like detrimental part of this community now that he's built with the magazine and stuff. And I had just gotten, I don't know, I just felt like the scene stopped growing with me. And if the scene stopped growing, it was time for, you know, everybody to shift. Somebody else step into the role, me to step into another role.
Yeah.
And like with Possum Stock and stuff, like this past Possum, our 10-year anniversary, we lost more money than we ever have, like by miles.
Yeah.
And I had really just had to start like weighing the options of like, well, I've done everything I can do while staying in the confines of living here, of being the guy in this town. Like, if I go down 45 minutes up the road, I can have better opportunity. And the thing is, with being kind of trying to carry things and do things the way I do, is if I get a better opportunity, everybody gets a better opportunity. Because that's kind of, and I had plateaued, so I had to jump ship. I had to move on to the next phase, the next era, the next chapter. Yeah. And it was all in the name of growth. So stuff like this can happen.
If you're not growing, you're not learning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And things have just gotten
it is
stagnant.
scary, man. Like, I mean, again, the responsibility, because no matter what, like, you're not going to hear, like, there's going to be a lot more, like, that guy sucks, or versus, like,
Always.
tap of, like, you know,
Always.
like, you're doing a great job, Cody.
Yeah,
Thank you so
because you
much.
put all the work in behind the scenes, nobody ever sees, just for them to, at the end product, be able to critique it and be like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
This year is not.
Yeah, but
they're just
that's a lot
holding
of
on to
work.
the year that they got the most lit.
Exactly.
Definitely a lot of work, man. Even
I don't know.
what
Jay, you
nobody
already
said.
know that some stuff that's like everybody has a different opinion about everything all the time. I love the way you just said that because it's so real.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, you know, without you, you know, like, you inspire me a lot to.
Well, I appreciate
especially like in the music, you know, standpoint, like being like joining the open mic and just keep like cheering for me and all that good stuff.
Well, now
And
you're
other
kind of
people.
spearheading that now, man. It's your open mic now, and it's good because like when I talked to Don about that, let's give him a round of
Yeah,
applause.
I know, it's scary.
When I
so-
talked to Don about it, I said I don't think there's anybody better. I don't think you could have brought anybody better in. Like you've brought a lot of attention to the community as a whole, and you kind of do a lot of selfless things, June. So I think it rolls. You know, being the open mic guy, like. It requires a certain level of like God knows it requires a certain level of patience.
It does.
But it also requires a definite certain level of you have to have empathy and some kind of love for the community.
Yeah, and it's and again, like, I appreciate you saying that there's no one better than
There's
you
not.
know, but the thing is, like, with me is I just care too much, you know.
There's no
I
such thing, man.
completely understand.
You know, but it's scary. It's really scary, like, because, you know, there's people that wanted to take that job, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'm just assuming, that want to, you know, have a job. Like, I'm a full-time student. So, like, for me, it's like accepting that role, I had to work late on Tuesday,
Yeah.
you know. So it's not like something that I'm like, hell yeah, I can commit 100% on this one, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
there's a back end of, like, then I gotta drive back to Hoptown and
Right. There's the second
waking
side
up
of it all.
at 4 a.m. for school.
Yeah,
So it's
man.
not like something that, like, I would say, like, be excited, but at the same time, it's like, I'll try my best, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
As much as I can, and really, like, grateful for, like, Dawn to, like, letting me, because you never know, like,
name comes up in every
letting me
episode.
host it, because for me, it's like, if I can make someone feels like a rock star just for one night, because for me, I mean, a lot of people, or most of the people, or some people maybe, that think that open mic is not worth it because you're not getting paid and all that good stuff. Because like, you know, you work hard for your, like, especially for a band, like we're doing practice and all that good stuff to get paid, you know. But at the same time, for me, like, there's no J Ammo if there's no open mic. You know, there's
Exactly.
there's no like some vocalist won't be your vocalist.
Raceland wouldn't be the Ray we know and love,
Yeah.
like if it weren't for open mic.
Yeah,
like,
and there's nothing
Ray
against
exists
the-
because of open mic.
Yeah, and it's nothing against like with that saying, because I understand, because once you're ready for that big stage, like open mics is a training ground and something for like small people that want to dream big. Because
New people.
I still see open mic. I still get nervous performing an
Every
open mic.
single time.
I still messed up performing an open mic, even though like I've been doing it for a while. I still treat it as the big stage for me, and I'm never gonna like look different way.
Yeah.
Because every time I perform, I make sure that, you know, it counts.
Yeah.
You know, and some people that are watching, because like last open mic that I hosted, there's some new faces
Yeah. You don't know who
that
to
I
inspire.
met, and then I'm like, bro, the production on that Tuesday,
Right, it was just like
it
floored.
was insane.
So
Like,
people
I
see
worked
it good.
my setup time and my pack up time is like, you know, an hour each.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I brought my lights, I brought my fog. Now I got to break it down afterwards while hosting
Yeah.
at the same.
Right.
Just because, like, I want to make sure when you go up the stage, that give you a boost and morale while you continue the music, because you never know where's that gonna take you.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe that just one night, a new freaking pop star or a rock star.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I
so
try to make it.
but I really am grateful, but it's definitely like witnessing you doing that for years. It's also for me, like, I can feel your stress already. Like, I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
once you started, you're like,
my
oh,
God,
this is why I get annoyed.
You know,
That's why I
but
try to
I
be
gotta
around.
try.
Sometimes I would be, dude. Sometimes I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I try to be around more, because when people see June, they see me most of the time. So like, as much as I can stay there, help pack up, help do
Yeah, be the
everything,
boy,
because we
be his
really
homie.
care. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Because
I'll
it
try,
goes
man.
smoothly.
I'll try my best to be better every single night with the production, because it's for me, it's the eye candy, right? Like
Right, right.
It's like, again, like to make someone feel like a rock star just for one night, just for that 3 songs,
I'm confident.
because you never know where that's gonna take you. That's where I don't care about, you know, like I gotta wake up the next morning, blah blah blah. Because if someone can do that as
Good
well
on
for
you,
me,
dude.
you know what I'm
Good
saying?
on
Like
you
if
for
someone, like if I'm not the host, let's say, I wish that someone will do that as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know it's the business side, money and all that good stuff, but you never know. Like, Sadie Fine, you know, look where she at
Yeah.
now.
Look at Sadie. I mean,
You
the
know?
growth. I was there for Sadie starting. Like,
Yeah.
I was there in the very beginning when she like first came in, and now to see where she's at now, it's
Yeah.
just like, whoa, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
'cause
There's one
yeah,
guy.
that's when I met her too. Yeah, that's when I
Yeah.
met her too.
One guy, Tony Evans, I performed with him one time. You know, he also performed with the open mic. Now he's like the Georgia guy. Like, he's just, you know, hundreds of thousands, more than like 500,000 followers.
And the
Like,
Upchurch dude,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know his name. What's his name? Upchurch? Matthew Upchurch? I can't remember.
What's up, Justin? Is it Justin? He's from Ashland City.
Matthew Upchurch?
Is
I
it
don't
Matthew? Ryan. It's Ryan
Ryan
Upchurch.
Upchurch.
Ryan.
There we go.
It's Ryan.
but
Ryan
I
Upchurch. He's
get,
from-
yeah.
There's a bunch. It's like that, and it's like you said. It's cultivating, and to be real with you, because of everything you just said, is why. And I've noticed this moving to Nashville. So many people have not put the time or the energy into communities like Clarksville because of its proximity to Nashville. If you're within 200 miles of this town, the only thing anyone's going to ask you if you're good
Nashville.
is why aren't you there? And I've watched people for years, like, and it became a thing. Like, we talk about, you know, giving people opportunities, and like, that's where I noticed really quickly when I was trying to push original music and be the dude down here and kind of weigh things and be the DIY guy and be the guy booking shows, because I was booking constantly. It's how everybody knew me, because like,
Yeah.
if you wanted to play in town, you wanted to play an original show that was good, that was going to pay you a little bit of money, I was the dude to talk to.
Yeah.
And in a long time, like, we made it happen. But I noticed, like, quickly, like, every cool band in Nashville wanted like these shows up here. They didn't give a shit about playing shows in Nashville, because they wanted to come play for 200 kids in a basement in Clarksville and get paid $250.
Yeah.
And like, the other side of that is this is when you get into like when you're the dude doing stuff and other people want to do stuff, and that's when you get ego and this is promoter battles and stuff. Because what would happen is I would work really hard to try and give those opportunities to the out of town bands that were willing to turn around and give me or my peers here the same opportunity back.
It's a give and take energy.
And it's because that's when I seen it, and I had promoters in Nashville like in 2019 telling me the same thing. They're like, you have crazy power like in booking, and because if I can book 6 bands on a show, know they're all going to make $200+ and play for a complete packed room of people. Get to party with a bunch of people they can like meet, mingle with, and socially like align with. That's why for a year straight there was people showing up to our shows from all over the state. Because people wanted to show up and just be in with enough people to try and come in.
Yeah.
And I realized really quick, because half of Nashville would... A lot of people put it on, just like in all showbiz, Jay. Like, people just put it on real fake, and like... And I would call people out quick.
Yeah.
I'd be like, so why you want to come up here? Because we have lit ass shows. Like, you want to come up here and you want to get all... And they're like, well, what can you do for anybody here?
What's your angle?
What's your angle? What's the angle?
Yeah, it's not for you, it's for the town.
And exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why, well, that's another reason, like, I've always told people, when I started because Tour de Ville formed, Jew was the one that started Tour de Ville when the coup was still open.
Yeah.
And originally it was Jew, like, making the route, making all the stuff, and him and Zach, the guy that ran the coup, would come in and figure out the lineup for the year, and they'd space it out. When the coup closed in 2014, that was that summer. That was the last summer that Zach did Tour de Ville, and he came to me and he's like, well, you do it next year. Yeah. And I did. And from the get-go, from 15 on, I said, well, if we do DeVille, and at that point I was doing Possum, I said the way I'll do it for the 2 big events, the local event, we'll do DeVille, and I'll do only locals. So all the people in my DMs that were like, yo, bro, I'm trying to get a spot on Tour DeVille, like every Murfreesboro band, I was like, no, bro, nobody can get a spot on Tour DeVille. Nobody but locals. Like, nobody. And I can't tell you over the years how many people have came to me, like how many local bands, and been like, bro, let me put my friends on. Let's put my friends on. And I'm just like, shut up and back away.
Yeah, it goes like that sometimes.
It's how it is, but that's the angle.
People fall into this thing where because they play in Nashville so much, like we're probably better than this small town band. So if we go there, we'll get a big support and big turnout and everything, and just kill it and just leave. You know what I mean? Because we've been playing here for so much, people already know us. Let's go to someplace new and shut it down because we're the shit. Yeah.
And it's a lot of give and take when it comes to booking, because as you were saying earlier, June, like being a promoter and being behind the production of things, it is the single most thankless job.
Yeah.
If you're a scummy bastard that is like trying to make money on shows, like that's another reason. Yeah. Me and Chance used to joke about it all the time. It was like people loved us because like, what reason do people really not have to love us? Like we're gonna walk out of this with no money at 3:00 in the morning, packing up all kinds of shit for no help, no nothing.
No thanks.
While all the dudes are scheming around, hanging out on the back porch, hitting on the girls, and we're just like. I gotta go home. I did all the work.
Yeah.
And it's like, because it's a thankless thing. You don't do it for, but it's a wild thing, because that aspect in Nashville, you don't see a lot of people. You don't see the selflessness that you see in some of these other communities. Yeah. Like the Murfreesboro scene, man, has an incredible punk community. Jack Brunson, Ethan Rose, all those dudes have been around as long as I have. Yeah. They started the same years I did. And Ethan still lives right down there in the main house show spot in that town. Yeah. And it is like the punk scene of Tennessee. Yeah. And like he's helped thousands of bands the past 10 years. Yeah. He's a dude that I know is like a person that is out in the mix that is doing it because they care.
Yeah.
And they say Nashville's the worst dating scene in America because everyone everywhere is just seeing, they're holding on to the next best thing.
Yeah.
They're seeing the next best thing that come along. And I'm trying really hard to be down in that community and not be that guy. I've been going to all these random shows across all the scenes, and people are like, you're at everything. And I was like, you are damn right I am. Because you thought I was going to be Cody Parson just because I was up here.
No, I'm happy for you. Like, it's good, definitely refreshing, because now you're in the not in the back end, and you're watching now.
And I get to pop around. It's fun.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about like, where's
I take notes too.
You know what I'm saying? But no, it's definitely just, I'm very grateful. Like, I am very grateful. And I know there's like a lot more better hosts, to pick. But I swear to God,
I don't
like,
think so. It's all about giving back to you,
Yeah.
and like you've earned that. You've
no, I
earned
appreciate it. And
You've
I
definitely
don't
earned it.
promise anything. Like I'm just trying. Because again, like I
You
got
get a
like
car.
I got 10 million things in my head. You know
Dude,
what I'm
listen
saying?
to me, man.
I got a lot of plans. I got a lot of like you're saying.
You're the right pick for it. So just accept that and don't try to
Well,
downplay
all
yourself.
I'm saying
Don't
is-
say nothing else.
Yeah.
Don't say anything else.
I'm trying my best.
Because
Big
if
words.
anybody else was supposed to get it, they would.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah.
Like
You
that's
know what I
it.
mean?
He's
Like,
right.
bro,
Yeah. Sure.
You remember we
Appreciate it.
talked about the whole
100%.
imposter syndrome thing? Yeah.
We got a lot of plans, Jay.
I know we have a lot of plans and nothing's gonna stop that.
We got a
You know
lot
what I
of plans.
mean? Because
It's just,
you know, it's us, man. We thrive in like growing and making each other better.
That's the name of the game. Growth is
Yeah.
the name of the game. As you said it earlier, if you're not growing,
You're not learning.
you're not learning.
But it's definitely a ride, man. Like it's me starting the watching open mic and first performance. I was drunk as fuck because like I'm too nervous, and then it just like dawned like a week later like want to play Fridays like. Space gig is like what the fuck like what the,
That's how it started for me.
but it's
bro.
definitely like thankful for all like the trust and trying to get back as much as I can. But Cody, man, what you did in this town, I can even imagine myself because again like I know if I put myself into something I would never work half-ass. That means that I gotta work 300 times more without any money, because I cannot just like if I show up in one location like that lighting sucks, I'm not gonna let that
He's
happen.
about to take all that shit down and
Yeah,
put it back
I
up.
will like grab
I
all my
believe
shit. That's because that's just how I am. Because, not because of me. I don't want the person to look like shit. Like
Right.
on the stage. But I'm learning. But what you did in this town, really, like I'm grateful. Like I didn't witness it all, but I definitely known you enough to know that the phone calls that we had, that you're like, hey June, like I want to go to Nashville. I'm like, go, But I'm like, why are you still here?
I mean, it's definitely you did it at the right time, man. It wasn't like forced or like premature.
Everything
like-
felt natural and right, And like I said, it was kind of more the opportunity kind of fell in my lap. So I was, and like as far as like my gig, I work for a merchandise warehouse, so it's like the coolest gig in the world. Like I
Yeah.
get to see everybody's like t-shirts and hoodies and hats and albums before they're released. It's awesome.
Well,
But it was a natural kind of like, and to be real, I feel so much better even about it because of stuff like this, like the fact that there are people that are still involved that care in the right way and about the right things.
Well, don't get it twisted because I can drop anything in the heartbeat because I,
mean,
got
all of
like
us
10
can.
million things
Yeah.
that I would do for myself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the new mindset of me.
Yeah,
right
because
now, too.
I definitely learned. I'm not saying like you did it, but like I can say no.
Mhm.
I say I'm a yes man like my whole life, but if I know that
I will
okay,
tell you, it will destroy you.
I will
dude.
just say
Well,
no
it
in a
will destroy
heartbeat.
you.
'cause,
lived
like,
it too
will
long
destroy
to
you.
Yeah.
not say no now. And now that I've been saying no, I've been.
It feels
a little
good.
bit-
It's like, oh,
it's like
damn.
it's like being in a cocoon and you just peek out every now and then,
Yeah, it's definitely okay to say no.
Well, with that being said, sir, so Nashville, so you got a lot of stuff going on or what?
I have probably more going on than I've ever had, to be real.
THC, any shows, any projects?
When I was at home, I took care of my grandma.
Right.
And moving, I've lived like alone for like the first time in like forever, like
Yeah.
not connected to a lover or like
Yeah.
my roommate is my buddy I went to EDC Vegas with, so he's like we thrive and have a great time together, and it's art, it's the community, it's like we were talking about earlier. You do an open mic and stuff like that, and you just get to a point with any trade, with any industry, where somebody's like, well, why aren't you going to the next step?
Mm-hmm.
And that's all Nashville really was. It was just the next step for something I had already been like building towards for a long
Been
time.
practicing forever.
And the other side of doing that and going to like the next step or the next level is like, I get down there and I take a look around and everything's changed. I'm not the boy in the town anymore. I'm not, there's people that are very good everywhere. My peers are on their shit. They're very talented.
Oh, yeah.
There's people everywhere that are insanely talented. But I also see like I see both sides of it, I see there's a lot of people that are very opportunistic. And there's some people that are just very true to their art and they're kind of doing what they're doing, waiting for their time for that to
I think
come.
it's just the natural thing.
It's a natural thing.
Yeah.
But I'm doing I have like a little routine in place. I try to work on music 3 nights a week. So we have THC rehearsal at least once a week. If we have a show, sometimes we'll have it twice. But I have THC rehearsal at least once a week. And then I got into Ableton this past summer, which is digital production I'd never got into. So I've been deep diving that, and I do that at least one night a week. So like music is 3 nights a week, whether it's like hardcore working hands-on on it, whether it's band practice, Ableton, or songwriting. It's just like sitting in the floor in my bedroom for 5 hours. And it's a different kind of thing when I'm not running a household, taking care of my grandma, when like my sole focus is back on me and my art. So I can go in, wood shop, and it's crazy because anytime at any given moment in town, there's, 1,000 people doing the same thing.
You can get up and go, man.
And all the time. It's anybody's a phone call away and be like, "Arr, arr." I love that aspect. I love that, like, music community and everything here. It's like, that's the town of music community. Like, anything, any night I have any inkling to do anything, I'm going to go find it.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody go ripping and playing like fat fucking pentatonic riffs. I'm going to go hit it. I want to see somebody like, I want to go to, night we met and dance.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
I want to go to D's and see some girl crone about like hating the same dude for fucking 10 years. I'm here.
More freedom, man.
It's everywhere.
That's good for
all
you,
the
man. I'm
time.
happy for you.
That's
really.
good, man.
So it's just like electricity. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. No, that's good. Just make sure that, like, I always talk to you, like, give you advice and all that good stuff. But, just make sure that you take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I lost more weight in the last like 8 months than I have in years. I lost like 20 pounds in the last 8 months. And I think a lot of it, I think everything is about finding the right balance. And like I mentioned, routine, finding the right angles. And I don't know, when you're not watching everything and everybody and watching the whole conglomerates like I had been doing for years, when I got down there, I was like, oh, shit's happening everywhere, and I don't have to worry about it. I'm not remotely, that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Weight off your shoulders. You needed that, man.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. It was very much like, this is nice. This is nice for me not to care about what's going on.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you ever
definitely
have a weird
refreshing.
moment when you didn't know what to do because you're not used to
Right.
all the-
Well, for 10 years straight, I had like personal investment in the businesses that like revolved around the music scene in this town. Like,
And now it's like, oh,
exactly. For the first half, it was like Wicked, and then like Dawn's like my sister. Was one of my best friends. So obviously, I care about the state of the bar and like how successful the bar is. But like down there, I'm nobody's, and it's awesome because I've passed up a couple opportunities to work at like venues because like my first couple weeks in, Gil was like, "You need a job," and I was like, "Man, I don't know if I need to be affiliated with any of y'all yet.
just
Yeah.
roll.
I need to be a free
Yeah,
agent.
man. Yeah, just
I don't
That's
know
how you gotta
nobody.
take
no
advantage of
loyalty.
that.
That's how you
Yeah.
gotta do it, man. That's
It's
how
a
you
good
gotta do it.
reset for your brain. That's good.
That's what it's been. And I've been very fortunate for it because, like I said, it's such a fantastic town. There's always amazing, inspiring things happening all the time, and inspiring
Yeah,
people
it's
and
Music City.
collaboration, and it's just it's fire.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It took me too damn long to move. That's what it is.
Yeah, well,
Man, but you still
there's
moving in the
the
right
reason.
time.
There's the reason for.
That's really
everything.
like my only. That's if you could ask me like one regret in my life right now. I turned 34 in like 3 weeks, and my only regret is how long it took me to move down there. That's really my only because if I would have really took off down there like right after college, there's no goddamn telling where I would be in any of it.
Gotcha.
And it's because over the last couple months you're asking me, I have a lot going on. Like I'm playing, I'm getting out more. I was talking about the routine. I work on music 3 nights a week, but we socialize 3 nights a week. Me and Julian, my drummer, go out to a show like every week, period.
Wait, you
given.
socialize?
Oh, I know.
Oh, nice.
Talks
Go in, talk a bunch. But
That's
no,
good.
it's just like, it's balance. Everything's balance.
That's good,
That's
man.
perfect, man.
Yeah, I think you deserve it. I mean, again, I didn't get to witness
appreciate
all
that.
of the years that you took care of this town, and I'm pretty sure people appreciate that now. That when you left, I couldn't really tell anything because I'm not really deep into the scene. I'm just here if you need me, and Jay. But I'm pretty sure that some people probably like, man, I wish there's a Cody
I
Parson
wish
in
there was
town.
a Cody around.
Well, I don't know now because I feel like we had gotten to the point too where like the things started shifting in the natural way. You
Yeah,
know?
again,
you're gonna
like,
be
yeah.
like the new face at open mic and stuff. We have like new stuff shifting in town. Even like a year ago, all the bands that were like the busiest in the scene is not that way now.
Yeah.
And like that's a beautiful thing. When things start to shift and somebody else is like doing more and somebody falls away, it's how it always works.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
always
The
going to
tides
be
of
like
it.
that. I mean, there's always going to be change, and again, like
Changes aren't permanent, but changes.
Yeah,
To quote Rush.
we're just gonna ride the life, the things called
Just
life.
riding the wave, man. At
Yeah.
this point.
You got any shows coming up? I mean,
the people
I
know.
I know that you have the.
Yeah, I have the biggest show.
Yeah.
I have 3 shows over the next 3 weeks. Next Saturday, there's a cool little monthly event called the East Side Riot that they do like the last weekend of every month.
Yeah.
This guy does in town down in Nashville, and we're playing that. We're playing Winton's playing with us too. We're both
Oh
playing.
yeah.
So me and
Shout
Winton
out
are
to
playing
Winton.
that show
Winton
next
existing.
Yeah, well, he needs to come over here.
weekend. We're playing 5 Spot next Saturday. Then the week after that is the biggest show I've ever had in Nashville. I'm guest spotting on Space Prom at Brooklyn
Hell
Bowl.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that's gonna Brooklyn Bowl's 1,200, 1,300 people venue, and it's like sells out every year. So
Yeah.
that'll be the biggest. That'll be definitely the biggest.
Are you
like,
excited?
Let's
spot.
go,
Yeah, that'll
man.
be sick, dude.
Hey,
That'll be
man, it
nuts.
doesn't stop there.
Let's hope not, baby.
It
Straight to
doesn't
the
stop
moon.
there.
Straight to the
It
moon.
doesn't stop there at all.
But then I'll be back at home the week after that. I'll be back my first show at Revel in like a year.
Oh, nice.
Just take it back in.
It's,
Just take it all in.
February
man.
8th. So
February 8th.
February.
Saturday, February 8th. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I got Chattanooga, Knoxville, Memphis, Jackson, Lexington, another Paducah gig, just stuff like regionally.
That's good, man.
everywhere.
That's
Going
good.
out. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's it.
Congratulations.
Trying to stay busy, guys.
Yeah,
Trying
you
to
just
stay
gotta
busy.
be. You mean again, like with in general, you just gotta be kind and root for people. There's nothing wrong with that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know the money thing and all that good stuff, but consistency and positivity. If you keep it going, dude, like the universe will just tells you like
That's been the real
that's
goal,
your
man.
reward.
Finding
Yeah.
2025, talking about goals for this year and like
Yep.
the move this year, finding like the real folks, finding the people that I know are like my people, and cultivating that is like my main goal.
Yeah,
So
but we do. I mean, I appreciate you. I mean, Jay and I
Well, I
appreciate
you
man.
guys.
We
I
really-
appreciate you guys inviting me
we
on. and
really
stuff.
do,
It means
yeah.
a
Of
lot.
course, bro. It's been
Thank
a long
you.
time coming.
Yeah, you got any?
Yeah, this one was overdue.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can come back anytime.
Anytime
Like,
you
and
want to.
Let's talk about like the space, the gig. I forgot the name.
Oh, Space Prom.
yeah.
Space
Let's talk
Prom.
about that when you after
whenever
that.
you get back.
Yeah, and then share us your experience. You're always
Yeah, I'll
welcome
tell you
here.
guys all about. I'll tell you the story
Yeah.
of the Space Prom.
Hell yeah.
It's just
Definitely,
it's a.
How do you get
Do you
tickets?
know what it is?
How do you get tickets?
I have no idea.
You can get them online. They're everything's. If you go to Brooklyn Bowl's website, it's all on there. Or if you just go to space.prom on Instagram, they have
Okay.
the page and the handle, and all the
Okay.
links are there. Okay,
Book your tickets.
Yeah.
You played with us in Super Jam at Possum Stock
Yes.
this past at Possum Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space Prom is very similar to Possum Jam. It's very
Yeah.
well. It's like a super jam. So I think this is the 8th one. I want to say maybe the 7th. Me and Freeze have been playing together since like 2017. So the whole time that he and I have been playing, he started it a year or two after he and I met, and it's essentially just a super jam. He makes an all-star band,
Right.
and the band's usually like 10-piece band. He's got
Yeah.
a lot of his best friends
Everything.
are on it a
Yeah.
lot, but. And then it's like a 3-hour long set with nothing but guest,
yeah.
and
Shit.
it's all covers.
That
It's
sounds
all
lit.
kinds
Yeah.
of covers. So and it's all songs everybody knows. I'm doing an Eddie Money song,
Yeah. That's
so
good.
like it's that kind of jam. And
That's good.
1 second.
And I had been I had asked him a couple times,
love
you
that.
know, because he's been doing it a long time, and everybody loves Freeze. There's so many people that constantly ask things of him, and but this year he'd make mention to me at Possum. He was like, "I'm gonna have you on Space Prom." I was like, "Bro,
Hell
don't
yeah.
even play with me. That's sick."
Let's go.
And then randomly, I'm remodeling a house or I'm tearing up like flooring for Kim Sunday, and like I get a call randomly, and I was like, Freeze was calling me, and I was like, I bet I know what this is, and that's what it was.
That's good.
Nice.
man.
I was like, sick.
All
I
good
was
things
very-
happen on a Sunday, man.
I was.
Yeah.
I almost cried. I was very excited.
Well, I mean, that's your reward, man.
Yeah, man.
That's a cool one.
Hey, man.
Just keep it consistent.
I'm glad you
man.
listened to your inner compass. You know what I mean?
Tried to. That's got to be true to yourself. If you're not true, like you can't expect anybody in the world to be true to you if you're not going to be true to yourself.
Be a true heart,
I mean,
not
yeah,
a
that's
follower.
it. Yeah, that's the only thing. I mean, the most important part is that you stay true to yourself, because no matter what the world, someone just not doing anything in their life will just critique you and stop you
Yeah,
from
they
doing
just
what
put
you-
all their ideologies on
Yeah.
you because they're
That's
not.
it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it.
I'm already seeing it coming for me, but especially like I'm start branching out. It's like with my music and all that good stuff. Like I can see it from a mile away. But again, like I'm doing it for me, you know. Like and with Jay,
manifestation.
He got a lot of stuff. He really inspired me.
Huge. Next time we're on talking about stuff, talk to me.
Next time we'll talk about that. Next time.
Yeah, we can talk about some big stuff.
These guys got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, man.
Too.
June has a lot of stuff going on. Recorded his first,
single.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, thankful for all the resources.
Who played drums on
it? Sample.
He just picked me up one day and then he started playing it. I was like,
yeah, but as it's first of many.
I was like, I expected it to be samples.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm very grateful, and I'm kind of like teary because like I would never imagine that one guy just saying open mic. Next, you got like something recorded.
Yeah.
I got like
Lane's great, dude.
That's how it started.
Numbers of songs.
You've had Waxhard on, but if you had Lane on,
if
you had Lane on like by himself,
dude,
because Lane has a long history in the Clarksville music scene.
Yeah.
Like a long history.
Yeah.
Like,
Shouts out to Lane.
Lane was playing shows with me back in like at Riverfest in 2012.
Nice.
And that's, it's 2025 right now. So like if that tells you anything. Wow. Lane had an insane band right in the beginning of like the scene when we were young called the Marsons. It was him and this cat named Najee. And they were so good. My friend Clayton played drums for him, and my other buddy Skylar played bass for him. And they were Najee was like a super crazy, really like soulful singer, and like Lane was young, but Lane played guitar.
Yeah.
And like would play kind of simple, like emo-y, acoustic-y, like, but dude, they had some barn burners. They had a song called Devil Knows.
Yeah.
And it was a real easy progression, and it was this like creepy. I'll send it to you sometimes. It's fire. It's like pure fire.
We're gonna deep dive on you, Lane.
Yeah, we gotta have you here too.
We did it was End of the World show one year. The coup threw an End of the World party in 2012. Because remember the Mayan calendar thing, like 2012.
End of the world.
We're gonna die.
There's a movie too.
Exactly. Yeah. We played 2 End of the World parties. We played the coups and the Warehouse in town hosted one. We played them both. But at the coup one, it was fucking packed. It was like to the brim. It was a big party. Najee was in the crowd, and my old band Whiskey Angel, I pulled Najee up on, and we did their song, the Marson song. And in the middle of us playing it and jamming this out, it was a very much a scene party, so everybody was there. Dude, Ian starts to solo, because we get to the part in the song, it's like 2 chords, Jay. It's like nothing to it, very easy. I'll pull it up before I leave. Ian starts to solo, and Ian's amp catches on fire.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Like in the middle of the show, in the middle of the solo, like the whole room just starts freaking out because Ian's amp just starts like smoking and fire is coming up, and he's just like
special effects.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
I just saw that in my head.
So before we end the show, do you have any open letter message for this town? At some point, I mean, you don't have to do it, but do you have any kind of like thank you or fuck you or kind of like something for the because there's no more in
the words of Jerry Springer, take care of yourselves and each other.
Okay.
That's really my only that's my only advice to the Clarksville music scene. Take care of yourselves and each other.
Fucking politician right here.
That's it.
That's good, man. That's good. Well, thank you, man, for coming out.
Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Being a part of the first one of the year.
Yeah, man.
If you didn't know, this is Cody Parson, man. Be sure to check him out. And he's the guy, but not here anymore. But he's like the bigger guy now.
I love that.
He's waiting on it. But anyway, my name is Jay Ammo, and don't forget to freaking use your turn signal.
Yeah, and use blinker light fluid if you ever run out of it.
That's right.
Yeah. Make sure y'all follow Cody Parson.
Yes,
They have
sir.
a change on Instagram. Got a bunch of shows coming up.
Check out his music video on YouTube.
Drive to Nashville.
check out
45
multiple
minutes
videos
away.
shot by this guy.
Yeah, something like that. Appreciate you guys.
Rock
And
and roll.
my
Thank
name again, June Espinosa.
Cody Parson.
Jay Ammo.
And we out of here. Thank you
We
so
out.
much.
Thank you very much.
Hell yeah, boys. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, buddy.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to show you that Marson song.